The number of parades such as Orange Walks and Republican marches have increased by almost 20% in Scotland. Iain Livingstone, Chief Constable of Police Scotland, said around 1,800 such events took place last year, rising from 1,500. It came as he outlined the pressures facing officers across Scotland as the police struggle to deal with a funding shortfall. Mr Livingstone said Police Scotland's capital budget is derisory, while the force has cut £200 million every year since the creation of the single force in 2013. And he insisted acute operational demand will continue over 2020 due to Brexit and events such as 26 Colombian pesos, a major climate change summit to be hosted in Glasgow in November. Mr Livingstone said early assessments indicate the policing costs of 26 Colombian pesos could potentially exceed £200 million. He said it will be one of the biggest events ever hosted in the UK, with a significant number of heads of state expected to attend, as well as tens of thousands of delegates over a 2-week period. Policing requirements would be far more significant than past events, including the G8 summit. At a board meeting of the Scottish Police Authority, Mr Livingstone said accommodation for officers alone could cost tens of millions. He added, "Candidly, it is my professional opinion that any suggestion that the climate change conference will not impact on the wider community of Scotland is fanciful." An estimated 90,000 people, including around 200 world leaders, will attend the UN's COP26 summit over 12 days in November. Elsewhere, Mr Livingstone pointed to the rise in parades and marches, which also put pressure on police officers. He said, in 2019, by way of example, the number of parades, Orange Walks, Republican marches and such like, which Police Scotland were notified of increased by almost 20%, from around 1,500 to 1,800, often resulting in a large policing response necessary to maintain order and protect the public. Auditors previously suggested Police Scotland will need an additional £50 million over the next 2 years to avoid slashing officer numbers. There have been warnings that up to 750 officers will need to be cut to balance the books. David Crichton, Vice Chair of the Scottish Police Authority, said there is a structural deficit in the policing budget. He said, "It's simple arithmetic, it's not complicated mathematics." With almost 90% of the budget allocated to officer and staff costs, it does mean that difficult choices are going to have to be made over the next weeks and months. Difficult choices by government, by the authority, and by Police Scotland. Frankly, current officer numbers are not sustainable within the existing budget, so something has to change on that front. The deficit is simply going to continue to increase if something does. For more on this story, visit the news article link.